Suzanne Collins's upcoming Hunger Games prequel, Sunrise on the Reaping, is undoubtedly exciting, yet the novel has already proven that it is going to repeat one tragic element of Katniss's story, but even worse. In June 2024, it was announced that the Hunger Games would be returning with a new prequel novel called Sunrise on the Reaping. The book, which is already being developed into a movie, is going to be set during the 50th annual Hunger Games. Notably, those games were fought by Katniss and Peter's District 12 mentor, Haymitch Abernathy. The prospect of learning more about Haymitch's time in the Hunger Games is both exciting and daunting. Collins has already proven that she can successfully expand the world of Panem through her 2020 novel, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. Thus, readers are expecting another riveting story. However, Haymitch's story is also concerning because there have already been hints within the original trilogy about what happened to him. Haymitch may have won his Hunger Games, but his success came at a serious cost that is far more upsetting than even Katniss's story. Haymitch's Hunger Games book confirms it's repeating the worst Everdee family tragedy. How Sid will be similar to and different from Prim. One fact that has already been confirmed about Sunrise on the Reaping is that the story will duplicate Katniss's most upsetting tragedy, losing Prim. Although Katniss faces a number of intense challenges over the course of the Hunger Games trilogy, her main goal is always to protect her younger sister Prim. By the end of the series, her efforts prove to be all for nothing, as the District 13 rebels end up killing hundreds of children, including Prim. It seems that Haymitch also has a younger brother whom he loves dearly, and unfortunately, he will also end up losing him. Based on an excerpt from Chapter 1 of Sunrise on the Reaping, released by People, Haymitch's brother seems to be quite similar to Prim. Sid is a 10-year-old boy who is the younger brother of 16-year-old Haymitch. The pair live with their weary mother, while their father was killed in a coal mining accident. Really, the biggest difference between Sid and Prim is that Sid is too young to be entered into the Reaping for the Hunger Games. In this way, Haymitch will not have to volunteer for Sid, yet Sid's demise will still come in another way. That Haymitch's brother being younger than Prim makes Sunrise on the Reaping's big death even worse. How Sid will die in Sunrise on the Reaping. Haymitch in the Hunger Games. Although Sid cannot be reaped, his death may be even worse than Prim's. One major reason for that is Sid being several years younger than Prim. By the end of the Hunger Games, Prim is 13 and has shown quite a lot of growth from being the scared little girl in the first novel. However, Sid will not have this chance. At just 10, Sid will eternally remain an innocent child. Even in Collins's excerpt, it is clear that Sid is far more vulnerable and childish than Prim ever was, and this will make his death that much more tragic. Sunrise on the Reaping is still a few months from being released, yet the Hunger Games has already offered some hints as to what will happen during Haymitch's games and how his family will be affected. In Catching Fire, Katniss and Peter discover that Haymitch won his Hunger Games by finding a loophole in the arena. This upset President Snow, who saw Haymitch's win as an act of defiance against the Capitol. As a result, Snow kills everyone that Haymitch loves, including Sid. Though it is unclear how exactly this happens, the fact alone is clearly upsetting. Catching Fire already told us that Haymitch's story is so much sadder than Katniss. Sunrise on the Reaping will not have a happy ending. Jennifer Lawrence as Katniss in Catching Fire. It is obvious based on what readers know from Catching Fire that Haymitch's story is so much worse than Katniss's. Katniss volunteered for the Hunger Games, and though she didn't like it, she entered with a sort of resolve to save Prim. On the other hand, Haymitch is being picked himself, which creates even more terror for him. Furthermore, audiences already know that Haymitch's loved ones, including Sid, his mother, and his girlfriend will all be dead by the end of the novel. This is what turns Haymitch into the alcoholic readers meet at the start of the Hunger Games. Because of this, readers should not expect any sort of happy ending from Sunrise on the Reaping. In fact, just like the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, those who read Sunrise on the Reaping should anticipate a dark and dread-inducing finale. After his games and the death of his family, Haymitch will be forever changed. Though he does eventually find peace at the end of the Hunger Games trilogy, Sunrise on the Reaping will not see that glimmer of hope. Ultimately, Haymitch's story is a tragedy, through and through.